Abby, you good? Okay, all right. Good morning. We're going to call to order our Tuesday, April 26th Board of Commissioners meeting. If you would, please rise if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we will accept public comment for items that are not appearing on our agenda. Is there any public comment at this time? Okay, yes, please, if you'd like to join us at our podium there, and please, if you would be willing to share your name and the municipality in which you live in, and we'll give you 5 minutes for public comment. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, my name is David Thomas Roberts. I live in Benner Township, and I'm here to represent the Shannon Group of the Sierra Club and Nittany Valley Environmental Coalition. Now, I do wish to comment on the Bellefonte warehouse project, and we have some serious environmental concerns about this project, and I'd like to make everyone aware that this project will have impact on the Class A wild trout waters of Logan Branch and the karst aquifers, water supplies, and springs of Benner Township. One of the major environmental concerns is the installation of this millions of square feet of impervious surfaces adjacent to Logan Branch and its cold water trout habitats. The facility is only a few hundred feet away from Logan Branch. There is an additional major environmental concern. The development site has a large depressed area that contains sinkholes in a wooded lot, which appears to be adjacent to where the large stormwater management basin is going to be constructed. And there's also an existing stormwater basin on site that actually has overflow pipes that drain directly into the sinkhole area. This seems to be a very bad practice, and we hope that that would be corrected and not repeated in this project. Now, the site, 103-acre site, will receive over 100 million gallons of rain precipitation annually, and having all this impervious surface in a large basin that will funnel all this water, away from natural infiltration. And infiltration is a primary source of water for stream base flow necessary for a healthy stream and for trout populations. It's been well recognized that increase of impervious surface area is a threat to trout, and that Nittany Valley has already exceeded recommended impervious surface areas that impact streams and trout populations. The current stormwater and BMP standards really don't address this well. And as an example, when we had an extreme weather event a few years ago, there was over 7 inches of rain that fell in Benner Township within a few hours. It destroyed Purdue Mountain Road, and it impacted infrastructure across the township. So what we're asking for is, instead of the old cookie cutter type of stormwater management, is to put in green infrastructures that would be comprised of bioswales, rain garden type things, and utilization of perimeters with bioretention that can help to absorb the stormwater and enhance the infiltration in a natural way. So there's many benefits that can be derived from this. So we request that these green infrastructure design features be incorporated. Also, in the truck bay area, we have concerns about possible fluids from the trucks or wash down, and there should be some sort of retention system installed so that that contamination could be eliminated from getting into the groundwater and surface waters. We've submitted some written comments that are going into this in more depth. So I hope that this will be incorporated in the planning for this huge development. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Is there any other public comment for items not on our agenda? And I should have mentioned that we do have this later on in our agenda. It's in our consent agenda, but we can certainly offer the opportunity for public comment on this item if it's, if anybody else would have it. Is there any other public comment at this time? Okay. Seeing no further public comment, we will accept public comment as each item is under consideration. Are there any additions to our agenda for today's meeting? Okay. Okay, all right. We will move then to consider our minutes from our April 19th meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes from April 19th. I will second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on the minutes? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Okay. First piece of business today is to acknowledge the recognition that we will be presenting to Tom Zilla at an event celebrating his retirement from the Center County Metropolitan Planning Organization. Tom has been with the MPO, as we refer to it, and the Council of Governments for 32 years. And Tom has been an amazing asset to transportation needs, community development, and also somebody who is just a ray of sunshine and really does make a positive impact on all that he comes across. He's done an amazing job with the transition that we're having. His successor is Jim Saylor. Jim has a fantastic amount of experience coming from the Cdbg RPO, and we look forward to working with Jim in the years to come. But Tom is certainly a thoughtful, selfless individual who has really demonstrated respect and worked together, really a model for how we can live our lives. And so we're wishing Tom the best in his retirement coming up, but after over 3 decades, it's time to hang up his spurs and enjoy some time with the family and other hobbies that he has. So we just want to acknowledge this at this time, and he's having a celebration this Thursday, and we're all, I think, going to try to stop by for a few minutes and enjoy some good cake. So just wanted to recognize that, and this is the certificate of recognition that we'll be providing to him. So just wanted to note that before we move on with our agenda. So any other comments on Tom? Or yeah,
I think the one thing you forgot is his amazing amounts of patience.
That's right.
Otherwise, I think you covered it well, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. We'll head into our proclamation then. We're going to consider our 14th proclamation of this year. We're going to welcome up Natalie Corman and Marissa Vasari. We welcome you both today, and we'll turn it over to you to discuss Mental Health Awareness Month here in Center County.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I will not touch that.
Okay.
On behalf of us, May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month. And so as we about to enter that month, we just wanted to have the opportunity to highlight it, as we have in previous years, about the importance of treatment and services regarding mental illness in our community. And I think really, for the county, the commissioners and the work that we do is typically highlighted when we come here to do our block grant and do our contracts. But really, I think for the community to really know that Mental Health Awareness Month is an opportunity to highlight this, but really we work on this every hour of every day. Whether it's 2 a.m. and somebody calls our crisis line, it's 9 a.m., somebody goes to therapy or to see their caseworker, it's 2 p.m. and the schools do a meeting, or it's 5 p.m. and there's a training and education opportunity that Marissa will touch on. This is worked on every hour of every day to make sure that we support our community to be as healthy as it can be. And so with that means that at any hour of any day, members can reach out. They can seek services, they can seek resources, they can seek education, and they can seek treatment. And we really just want to continue to highlight that to our community, that there are those resources, whether it's through your crisis line, whether it's through your doctor's offices, our emergency department. It really is important for us that we as a community work on mental health and the awareness of being as healthy as we can and to support those with a mental illness and their families. And so one of those ways that we really do that is through education and training that Marissa talks about.
Yeah. So, as Natalie mentioned, mental health education and awareness is important, not just during the month of May, but every day. And so there's a lot of different opportunities that are out there in our community. Jana Marie Foundation works to raise that awareness through a variety of different programs, including QPR, suicide prevention, and mental health first aid. We do have no-cost trainings coming up for QPR. We have several different options during the month of May, and then mental health first aid, we are able to discount the price to $35 a participant right now. And so we really encourage community members to come out and learn about mental health and about wellness and resiliency, about the resources that are here in our community, and then also that importance of early intervention. And so we believe that education and awareness is a really big piece of that early intervention, and so that education can really help in that front. And then also during the month of May, we will be offering Jam Fest again, which is a community mental wellness day on Saturday, May 14th. We'll have Biscuit Jam, Pure Cane Sugar, Corner Brothers, The Extractors, Ken Baxter, all downtown playing live music. We'll have wellness workshops, so yoga, Zumba, improv, all sorts of really fun activities, plus 20 engagement stations. It's a free event for the entire family to come on down and just focus on their own mental health and wellness for the day, and making those connections with friends and family. And then there's also the Skills Candlelight Vigil as well.
They are bringing that back, as we are happy to hear. So they will be tentatively holding that the end of May, we think around May 25th, but Skills will probably formally announce that this week. But to have the Candlelight Vigil be back in our community is a really great event. Individuals and families participate, the community participates in kind of highlighting services and recovery and support for mental illness. And so we're happy to have that come back to our community as well.
And then we'll also have art exhibits at Mount Nittany Health, at the hospital. Bellefonte Art Museum has the Stompers on display during the month of May, and we'll be doing our Art with a Theme in Downtown State College again, with a theme this year of starfish, so reminding us all that we can be the difference.
And we are actually in our office at NHID at Summit Park, have moved our Stomper into our lobby. We typically have let our staff kind of always have the Stomper be on display, but for this month and moving forward, we actually have our Stomper now in the display of our lobby next to our resource wall. And so it's a way for the community as they come into our office to also be able to have a Stomper and understand the importance and awareness of what that is. And so we have moved that prominently in our office.
Well, thank you both, Natalie and Melissa. We really appreciate the growth and development that continues to occur here in Center County, the proactive approach that we have within county government, within Natalie, and the nonprofit, Marissa, really leading the way and continuing to make improvements and spread the word and destigmatize mental illnesses. So we thank you both very much for being here today. Looking forward to participating in many of the events that you listed. Looking forward to our community also engaging in raising awareness as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Mike. I won't say that all again. I think you got the gist.
Got
Yeah,
it. Thank
you got
you.
the gist. Yeah.
Sure. Your events are always exciting, Marissa. You were mentioning the Jam event is Saturday, May 14th. I think you said Downtown State College?
Yep.
I didn't get the hours, though.
12 to 5 p.m.
12 to 5. Great. Well, again, want to appreciate county employees for all the work they do in this area. We've got shortages now of people in the mental health field, always looking, always appreciating people going into that area. Marissa, you and your staff also perform a lot of great work here in the community. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
First of all, I thank you for all you do on a daily basis, both you and all your staffs. But most importantly, I think this is an opportunity to recognize, as Michael indicated earlier, it's really about the reduction of stigma and people getting the diagnosis and help and treatment that they need when they need it. And it's a very common event that folks have the ailment, and it's not anything that is unusual, but it's better to be safe than sorry and get the help that you need. And I think that's really, when you talk about awareness, the important message is that people need to go out and seek treatment if they feel necessary, and if they have any questions, there's all sorts of resources in the community to help them with that, including yourselves. So thank you for everything that you do and all the lives that you not only affect but positively impact. So thank you very much.
So with that, we will look for a motion to adopt our 14th proclamation.
Motion to adopt Proclamation 14 of 2022, proclaiming, it says April, but I think it's supposed to be May. Proclaiming May of 2022 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Center County.
I will second that, but it should be all year round.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded to approve our 14th proclamation. Any final discussion or public comment on this? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay, and we'd like to present this to you at this time. If you'd want to join us. Thank you. Okay. Can you go by a second?
Thank
Good to
you.
see you again.
Good
Yeah,
to see
absolutely.
you.
Good to
Thank
see
you very
Yeah,
much.
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
As always.
Thanks.
Thank
Ann.
you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, at this time, we are going to enter into our bids and proposals. We will welcome up Quentin Birchfield at this time to provide any comments for the bids, but we'll also be having Margaret actually officially open the bids. So, good morning, Quentin.
Hi. So I'm up here for our opening our proposals for our home delivered meal program, congregate meals and shelf stable meals, which provides nutrition to older adults in Center County. And also at our senior centers, providing a hot meal, and then our people who are homebound, providing them a home delivered meal. And of course, our shelf stable meals are for when we have our snow days, and then it allows for people to get nutrition on those days as well.
Okay, thank you, Quentin.
As Quentin said, this is an invitation for bid, which is different than an RFP, and it will also involve us declaring the cost, the respective proposed cost, and since there is only one proposal today, that shouldn't be all that difficult to figure out. This needs to have in the box to be a submission, a signed copy, an original copy, one more copy, 3 electronic copies, and a bid bond in the amount of 10% of the price. Lovely binder. One. Pardon me?
Just in case, just in case. Yeah, there you go.
I saw your fingers come dangerously
I know,
close.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, so yes.
We want to keep you for a little while longer.
Thank you. I appreciate you looking out for me. So this is one copy. Thinking that I'm hearing 1, 2, 3 electronic copies. A signed original. So Quentin, were you looking for different prices for different components of the bid? So there are different prices listed in here. So I think they're here, it's just like not going to announce them publicly.
Okay.
So, it talks about a per meal price of $6.01 for $60,100. In-home meals at a unit price of $6.14 per unit for an extended price of $240,381. Frozen in-home meals per meal cost of $6.14 for an extended price of $240,381. And shelf-stable meals for a unit price of $4.89 for an extended price of $7,335. So,
Mark, does it indicate where those meals are prepared? I ask because, as we all know, we have the Center Crest project with a commercial kitchen coming online here fairly soon. There might be a
I don't
partnership
see it right off the top, but I'm sure that we can find out. They have
Yeah,
an
just a-
experience section here.
Just more of a thought as we move forward.
We've looked at that and considered that, and we do have that space, and how do we use that, so, yeah.
It does look as if they serve other counties. They serve the Lawrence County Area Agency on Aging, Lebanon, Mifflin, Juniata, Perry County, Potter County Human Services, Venango, and Westmoreland, Mercer. So they seem to have quite a lot of experience in the space. So,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
need a bid bond. I have it right here. Everything looks to be in.
Okay, good.
Good.
Okay, okay. Anything else to add, Quentin, before we look for a motion to table for 1 week?
No, I think that's everything.
All right, we'll look for a motion at this time to table it.
Motion to table the IFB for the Center County Meals Program until Tuesday, May 3rd.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion, public comment on this? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion has carried. Okay. And Quentin's going to be joined now by Faith, and we'll consider a contract award and contract negotiations. Good morning, Faith.
Morning. Well, we're very pleased to be here to let you know that we have finished our review of the 4 responses that we've received for the Homemaker Services and Options Program. And we're also very happy and pleased to share that we'll be moving forward in contract negotiations with all 4. So Arcadia, Helpmates, Angels on Call, and Caregivers America all scored high enough and have met the standard for us to move forward with them. All seem very excited, and what's most exciting to us, as we've shared before, is that 2 are our current providers, so our community members can stay with the provider if they like it, and we can also add 2 more, which probably gives us some of the best consumer choice we've had in Center County in this program in a very long time, well over 10 plus years. So I'm going to pass it over to Quentin. He's going to talk a little bit about some of their variety of services, and then we're going to move forward with contracts next Tuesday and present them to you with our cost.
So concerning the personal care services that we provide through the aging office, it is basically we have our seniors who have are at fall risk or have an inability to provide their own personal care, and we're able to hook them up with one of our 2 providers right now with services where they're able to get a bath in a safe environment, which is an issue of improving their dignity and the safety and helping to maintain them in their homes. We, as far as having the extra providers now that we're going to have 4, we have about 15 people on a provider waiting list right now that we are really excited about looking to get services for. So the hope is that we can come up with contracts with all 4 providers. And then at this point, then in June, we're going to work very hard to get every one of these people set up with services. So when we start July 1st, we are going to have no waiting list for the first time in a very long time, which I'm really excited about.
That's excellent. Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, Faith. Anything else before we look for a motion to go into contract negotiations? Okay. Any questions or comments?
Well,
Yeah.
actually,
yeah.
I do
Yeah,
have a
please.
comment.
Please.
I think it's important that folks realize the importance of keeping people in their homes. Not only is it, I will say, expensive to put an individual in a long-term living environment, but also there's so many folks that thrive in their own homes, and they feel that's integral to who they are. And the longer that we can maintain that relationship, I think all these, whether it's the food that they eat or the care that they receive or the hygiene that they, it's imperative that we do everything we can to keep that relationship going, because having experienced it firsthand, I will tell you, it's a real morale booster to have somebody stay in their own home. And I'm glad those facilities are out there when the time comes, but the longer we can keep that relationship at home, it's just very healthy, and I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps preserve dignity of the individual.
Absolutely.
From a cost perspective, the way that we put money and the state and the federal government, it's much more cost effective to keep folks in their homes, as you said, rather than a.
And from a mental health standpoint as well,
Absolutely.
folks
Yeah.
just feel more comfortable and much
Yeah.
more at ease.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right, so we will then look for a motion.
Motion to enter into contract negotiations for the request for proposal homemaker services and options program.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final comments, questions at this time? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Okay, thank you, Quentin. Thank you, Faith. And Faith will stay around for another item.
Thanks. I'll make it real quick. We had some additional funds from PHFA, the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, for our fiscal year 2020 fair grant. So historically, we have been using this for the Fair Rental Assistance Program, and this was the 5th year that we had received it. And this was a grant that we thought was a one-time, so it was really exciting to be considered. The total grant was $16,000. We have expended it all. 100% of all households that we served were under 50% of the AMI, which we are required to show a percentage of. And we were able to help 15 households with that $16,000 in our what we call our host and contiguous counties, or excuse me, municipalities. So again, those are the areas that we have determined are most impacted by Marcellus Shale, because this is funded through Marcellus Shale impact fees. So at this time, unless we change our mind or something new comes up, this is the last fair grant that we have in our department, but we'll be happy to explore it next round if we find it needed. So that's it. So today is just the closeout report for you to review and sign, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Faith. Any
Yeah.
questions or comments? Okay. We know every dollar matters with affordable housing, getting folks housing, so we appreciate all the work on this, and it's been a great project. Hopefully, we can look for future years potentially to continue this. But today, we will look for a motion to approve the item as it's listed.
Motion to approve the fiscal year 2020 Pennsylvania Housing Affordable and Rehabilitation Enhancement Fund Grant Closeout for the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final comments, questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you,
All right,
Faith.
thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll welcome up Dave at this time to discuss our allocation from MATP for our last fiscal year. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I come and ask for your consideration of acceptance of the fiscal year 2020-2021 Medical Assistance Transportation Program final allocation from the PA Department of Human Services. It's in the amount of $657,214, which is fully state funded, for the period July 1, 2020 to June 30, 2021. I'm proud to say that that's a larger allocation than the year prior, and things are going in the right direction. We did receive a little bit more money than that we will return and be reallocated, but we ask for your consider to accept this so we can submit it and close out that year.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions or comments?
No, sounds like good news.
Okay. We will look for a motion then.
Motion to add the Medical Assistance Transportation Program final allocation for the fiscal year, I think it's state fiscal year, 2020 to 2021 to next week's consent agenda.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any final questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Okay. We will welcome up Krista at this time. Good morning, Krista.
This morning, I would like to submit for your review an agreement that is going to hopefully be between Center County and our health insurance company, Capital Blue Cross. So it's not fiscally minded. It's just an agreement that we would agree to not take their content as our own. You see, what's happening is for a wellness program in June, I would like their registered dietitian to present an online live cooking demonstration. And it's full of nutrient know-how. It's telling employees how to make healthy recipes, and it's something that we want the employees to participate in. But not everyone can watch it live. So I asked Capital to record it, and they would agree to do so if we would sign the agreement saying that we won't do anything with their content. So,
We can't steal our recipes.
well, we can, we just can't take the snippet of the video and put it out as Center County, so. I encourage you all to also participate in the demo.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, that's helpful to know the background on this, and it sounds like a great opportunity. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you, Krista. Okay, we'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve the agreement between Center County and Capital Blue Cross.
Okay. Any final discussion or questions on this? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you, Krista.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to welcome up Krishna at this time to discuss an MOU. Hi, Chris. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you, and good morning. The MOU that's going to be presented today is for Phase 3B of the Deerhaven subdivision. But before I get to the description of the subdivision, just a gentle reminder of this particular MOU, which is a three-party agreement between the township, the developer, and the county, whereby the developer is agreeing to reimburse, in this case, Walker Township, for the costs associated with the township engineers processing, reviewing, inspecting, and approving the engineering details. In essence, it's the three parties are agreeing to authorize the township engineer to review the engineering aspects in lieu of the county engineer, so that way the developer isn't getting double dipped, nor they're two potentially different engineering reviews. And by the execution of the board of the MOU, it's not giving an approval of the subdivision plan by the Board of Commissioners. That authority lies with the Center County Planning Commission. This is just an agreement to authorize the township's engineer to review the plan instead of the county engineer. Now, as we go on to the subdivision plan, this is in Walker Township, and it's called Deerhaven Subdivision Phase 3B, and it represents the next phase of development. And where we're located in Walker Township is right along, this is Zionsback Road, and as you're heading east along Zionsback Road, you're going to take a left, and this is where the Walker Township Municipal Building and their athletic fields are located. And if you go the opposite direction, about a mile this way, you're going to hit the brand new intersection, or real close to the new intersection of 64 and Zionsback Road. And this is the existing phases within Deerhaven subdivision. And the next slide will give a little bit better detail. The phases that are shown in green all the way to the left are existing phases. The 4 or 5 phases to the east are proposed, and the orange highlighted is Phase 3B, which consists of 15 lots, 14 residential, and 1 open space. There's existing or approved lots equal 68 residential and 2 open space. The overall residential lots is going to be 185, with 5 of those being stormwater or open space. Now, the plan that was reviewed and conditionally approved by the County Planning Commission is shown up on the screen, showing the 14 residential lots along with the open space lot. They're going to continue the public road segment of 10-point path to a temporary cul-de-sac with a hydrant located there, because there is public water and public sewer at that location. And that's the MOU that's being presented for today.
Okay. Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Any questions or comments from the board for Chris on this MOU? Okay.
It looks like it's located in between Zion and Mingoville then. Yeah.
Okay. We will look for a motion at this time.
Motion to add the MOU for the Deerhaven Subdivision Phase 3B to next week's consent agenda.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on this? Any public comment? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried. Okay, Chris, thanks again. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
All right, we have a discussion on Cdbg. We have several items here. We have Ray Stalinas with us, but also Mitzi Gallagher-Long from City Council of Governments to discuss this as well. Good morning to both of you. Good morning. Morning.
We have several sub-recipient agreements for the Cdbg program. I'm going to let Mitzi go over those. I think we have 5 or 6 there for consideration. So,
These are your sub-grantee agreements for your 2020 and your 2021 projects. They were multi-year projects with Penn Township, that is to build a water tower, with Haynes Aaronsburg, that is a piece of their overall encompassing project that we're still waiting on DCD to hear whether they were awarded. They're competitive. That is to bring another well online and bring them within their DEP consent order. And then with Bellefonte Borough, for their streetscape program.
Fantastic. Any questions or comments on any of these agreements?
Well, important projects, but the county can help out.
Okay. All right, we'll look for a motion then.
Motion to add the planning and community development items 2 through 7 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. And for our next upcoming, before we take a vote on this, for our upcoming CDBG, do we know when the public meeting would be scheduled for that yet, for our upcoming fund? Maybe just to put a plug in for that? May 18th, okay.
We scheduled first public hearing and workshop.
Okay.
Bellefonte Borough is May 16th, I
Okay.
believe. They hold their own first hearing. And I will be back shortly to talk about a possible modification. We do have some unspent CD funds
Yep.
that need to be
Yep.
reallocated.
Yep.
So I will be bringing that to you. Ray's been kept in the loop, working with DCD to get a vehicle repair program. That is what Center Helps is hearing a lot of need for. The rent, mortgage, utility funding, a lot of other funding that didn't have as much red tape as CDBG was thrown out after the fact, so that got spent, and unfortunately, the CDBG funding did not. So you will have a remainder of that that did not get spent. And Center Helps actually brought a vehicle repair program to the table, so I've been working with DCD and HUD to make sure that will be eligible. So there's a few more back office details that we need to work out, and then I'll be bringing that to you. We'll have to go through a modification process of a hearing, so Margaret, you're gonna miss all that.
So May 18th is the public hearing, and that's in the evening, during the day? Okay, 6 o'clock?
Room 144, right? Not here, but
Next door?
Yep.
Okay. Hybrid, or is it just in person?
it's in person.
In person,
yes.
okay, in person only. And that's open to the public, anybody can attend?
Yes,
Great.
we actually encourage the public
Yes,
and
yep.
all the Center County municipalities to please come learn about CDBG regulations, bring any project ideas.
And actually, last week, Mitzi sent out the community notification letter along with application and brochure to all our municipalities, nonprofits, and so forth. So they do have information that the cycle for 2022 has started.
And the notice was in the paper.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. Any further questions? We do have a motion in a second. Any comments, questions? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it. Okay. We'll look for a motion to approve our consent agenda today.
Motion to approve this week's consent agenda.
Before I second, I would like
Sure.
letter E to be pulled out separately, please.
Separately, okay. From the motion. So, okay, so would you be willing to amend the motion to just be A through D?
So we're looking for an amended motion.
Yep.
To approve the items for this week's consent agenda A through D.
That's right, yep.
I will second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on those items? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion is carried. Okay. All right, so we have before us item E, and we'll look for a motion at this time. Look for a motion?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Motion to approve item number E on today's consent agenda.
I will second that, and I have some discussion.
Okay, sure, please, Commissioner.
I guess my first question is, and I don't think it's a big mystery to the community. We don't know who this is. We learned last week that there was a non-disclosure agreement that was in place. So my second part of my I guess curiosity is, what manner of commerce will they be conducting at this facility? And to the comments maybe earlier, I have some concern what it is that they are going to be transporting, what they are going to be shipping, what are they going to be warehousing. At a level that this is, I think we deserve some answers as a community. And I don't know what the exact answer to that is. I don't know exactly what the path forward. I'm in support of business, and I'm supportive of a private property land use. My question is, something of this nature involves many elements beyond the scope and boundary of their property. And this was just brought to our attention last week. And as I've ruminated on this quite a bit, I really would like some answers to this. And I know that they probably won't be generally forthcoming, but I think we really I think we need to know more about what's going on here in good nature to say that a land development of 1 million square feet be pushed forward. I don't know if I don't know what the will of the board is or what thoughts. It's just some things that came to me over the last week, and because a lot of folks are asking me, and I'm sure they're asking, asking you, what is this exactly? And of course we can speculate who it may be and who it might not be, but ultimately when you're talking about large hydrogen tanks out, and hydraulic systems, and I just think it's difficult to say that this is a good project or bad project, or whether it meets the meets and bounds of the conversation. I don't know if our planners can shed some light on what our responsibility here is, but 1 million square feet impacts a lot more than just the footprint of that building. So,
No, I appreciate the comments. I think that this is the first time we've ever had a developer that's had a non-disclosure agreement on the front end of a project. I can't recall any that have had this to this magnitude. And as Mr. Schnur, Chris alluded to during the comments on the Walker Township MOU, we unfortunately, as long as that MOU is in place in consideration for that, that's just essentially just allowing the township and the county and the developer to partner and work together. But unfortunately, essentially at this time, all that we know is it's a warehouse for e-commerce, and that's essentially what the broker or the developers, Langen, who's the engineers, I believe, and SunCap, who are the developers at this time, and that's all we know. Unfortunately, they're under a non-disclosure agreement. We are unable to get any more information. I mean, if there's channels that you think that we could take for that, I think we'd be all ears. But in a free market, that these things can sometimes happen. And so I think we're all trying to get our heads around how we can find out more information. And there might be a duty that they have as a broker and a developer to let us know. And I think the company as well would be better received if they'd be more transparent with this. But there are constraints that we have. There's really no way that we can not support this MOU because they're in conformity, again, with our land development, with all planning metrics. But I think I think this whole community shares the questions you have. We would love to know who it is, but I think as somebody else had remarked, that this is a industrial park. And so this is an industrial use, and so yeah.
I get that. I'm just wondering, and maybe Chris, if you can come up, or Ray can come up and guide us through what the next steps forward may look like.
And something I'd like to address, the gentleman who spoke earlier did raise some very good points about the rain gardens and the additional buffers and the potential thermal issues from the site.
Sure, I'd be happy to answer those questions. I've been doing this for quite a few years, so I have a spiel that I'm going to give, which is pretty informational. There's 35 municipalities in Center County. Actually, let me back up even further. Pennsylvania has what's called the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. That's the enabling legislation that allows municipalities, townships, boroughs, and counties to adopt land use controls, such as subdivision, land development, and zoning. And that's what has been done throughout Pennsylvania. Now, within Center County, there's 35 municipalities. Of those 35, 25 do not have their own subdivision land development ordinance. So by default, those municipalities fall under the county's regulations. Those other 10, they approve and govern their own regulations. Benner Township has chosen not to adopt the subdivision or land development ordinance, called a SALDO for short. But Benner Township has adopted a number of local land use controls. So anything that these, such as stormwater management, Benner Township has adopted their own stormwater management ordinance, which supersedes the counties. And so anytime there's stormwater criteria within Benner Township, the counties doesn't apply. So you have to go to Benner Township and discuss with the Benner Township folks and their engineer regarding stormwater criteria, which would talk about Mr. Roberts' comments. Is I would recommend getting a hold of the Benner Township and Benner Township engineer to discuss those concerns and suggestions, which thank you for forwarding those comments. And I found out that those comments were also forwarded to the township engineer, as well as the Langen Engineering and Suncat Group. So those, they just didn't sit in somebody's inbox. They were forwarded to some of the appropriate parties.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Benner Township has also adopted a zoning ordinance, which regulates not just building setbacks, but also lighting, landscaping, impervious coverage. Now, within Benner Township, we don't administer the zoning ordinance for Benner Township. That's done by the Benner Township zoning officer, but we still have to be familiar with the regulations. And I looked at the regulations this morning, and being an industrial park, they're allowed up to 80% impervious coverage. Doesn't mean you have to go up to 80%, but that's what you're allowed to. Benner Township also has a street standards and driveway permit regulations. So anytime that you put a driveway onto a township road, you have to contact the township, again, you can see a theme here, to get the permits for the driveway standards. They also have traffic impact study requirements. So right now, the Benner Township traffic engineer, Langen Engineering, and PennDOT are all right now reviewing the transportation impact study. And that's going to be part of the approval process. Is the County Planning Commission is going to require a copy of the approved document. So when, and I'm going to miss a number of items, but you just get the idea that basically the County Planning Commission becomes a clearinghouse, so to speak, is that they're not going to approve a plan until we have written documentation from Benner Township engineer for stormwater, Benner Township zoning for zoning, Benner Township for transportation, etc. And so doing development in Pennsylvania can be very tricky because of having 2,600 municipalities out there, each with potentially their own different set of regulations, can get a juggling act. And here in Center County, it's no exception, especially within Benner Township. And we're also meeting with, in fact, the folks with fire chiefs. I actually sat down with the Pleasant Gap fire chief last week, went over the plans. We're going to have another meeting in hopefully this week with the various fire chiefs that surround the municipality, not just on the outside, but they really want to know about the codes on the inside as well. But that's just I apologize for being wordy, but that's just a little bit snippet of some planning 101.
I think, Chris, what you're outlaying and sharing is, it's, and we often, so by backtracking on this, we learned that this item was on the Benner Township agenda, public agenda, well in advance of our meeting last week. And we just benefit by having such good relations with our press, and also CNET as well, where we become sort of, if something lands on our agenda, it then is magnified, which is a terrific thing. But Benner had this on their agenda last week, the week previous to our meeting, and it's going to move through that process. There's going to be a process where this goes, and really, and again, we never have a concern about, Mr. Roberts, sharing things that may not be the best for us to situate, but goes to another local government. We're all one big family, one big team, so we can, provide that, those documents, as Chris mentioned, to the appropriate entity. And we have this all the time where folks will reach out to us and need an issue that's solved better by federal level, even the municipal level, et cetera, and this is an example of that. But just to bring this home is really what we're doing today is just authorizing an MOU that allows the township engineer, county engineer to be working together to be, again, just in collaboration with this as we proceed with the development. This is not the final stamp. This is there's many other issues: DEP, PennDOT, many other things that are going into play at this point. And we also have a Planning Commission meeting coming up on May 24th, which is also open to the public, 6 p.m.?
Yes.
6 p.m. in this same room. That's open to the public. Anybody can attend that. So that's another opportunity to see what the plans would have, offer comment as well. And I don't know Benner Township's schedule offhand, but their meetings would also be open to the public, and anybody could attend those as well to have dialogue with them. But we appreciate the context and our place in this. So, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Any other final feedback or questions? Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm just going to, you answered the other prong of my questions, which that I expressed some concern with last week, and that is the issues with traffic in PennDOT. I hope that we have a thorough concept and understanding about the impacts that this may bring, because that's a regional. Whenever you put 25 acres of building under roof, that's more than just impacting that property. It's going to impact literally the region. And I hope we all understand, what that means, and make sure that we've crossed all our T's and dotted all our I's. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. In
Yeah.
addition to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation reviewing their transportation issues, it sounds like the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection is also going to be reviewing some of the information as well.
They'll be reviewing what's called the NPDES, National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permits, in conjunction with the Conservation District. So that they're already in the process of submitting that to DEP for approval of the ENS, so to speak, Erosion and Sedimentation Pollution Control Plan. So that's a big ticket item that they're working with DEP on right now.
And then sedimentation is also of concern for stream quality.
Yes.
Trout.
And as part of the NPDES permit, I believe they also take into consideration thermal impacts. So those are, as part of the ENS, thermal impacts are addressed by that as well.
Our Conservation District and Planning Office have been doing a fantastic job working with money that we've received through our County Action Plan to preserve and help strengthen the Chesapeake Bay water quality. And that's been a big thing we've been working on. A lot of farms have been reducing the amount of sediments, the amount of pollutants they've been doing. So we're very much aware of environmental impacts and very much supporting that. This is a very unique situation, but we are taking all the proper steps and really being very diligent with this process. So we'll look for any other final questions or comments at this time. Okay. Yeah, and we offered you 5 minutes before. We're more than happy since you came all this way. I know we're happy to have you offer some more comments at this time, but we will limit to 5 additional minutes. Okay.
It'll just take a minute.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, I did kind of go out of order there. Apologize for that. But,
no need to
but
apologize.
I just want to thank you all for really taking this seriously. And, I hope that you express your concerns directly to Benner so that they're very aware of these issues. And there are some, additional concerns have been brought up, traffic, potential air pollution, direct, contamination through these sinkhole pathways into the aquifers. And I understand that there's public comment still open on this, so we'll probably be submitting further written comments on some of these issues. Again, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And again, I think Chris is, again, extraordinarily familiar with this and would be happy to, if you had certain comments, he could direct you to the best place to put them. And it may be us, maybe our planning commission, but Chris would be happy to do that. So thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Chris, at the podium.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you know if the application is being made to state agencies, DEP, and are they also not disclosing who this is?
From what I don't know that for sure. I have not looked at the applications for through PennDOT or DEP. I can't comment on that. I just know that SunCap Property Group LLC is representing the developer.
When you say non-disclosure, one of the consultant developers said last week it could be months before they reveal. Have you ever? Is there a kind of a time frame when we have to reveal a certain amount of time afterwards?
This is the first that we've had a developer not indicate who the end user is.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So we'll look for a motion at this time.
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for the preliminary and final land development plan for the Bellefonte warehouse located in Benner Township.
I will second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on this? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say same sign. Motion is carried. Okay. All right, thank you again, Chris, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Commissioner Higgins, we'll turn it to you for our check run.
Sure. We have a check run in the amount of $4,788,356.28. To give a little context, it's not quite as large as it would seem. $4 million of that is local property tax money that has been coming into the county. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate that. It is being transferred to our money market so that we can make at least a tiny bit of interest on it. For the remaining $788,356.28, we have a number of checks to both foster and adoptive parents. Very much appreciate everything they do for the children of Center County. So would like to make the motion to approve the check run dated April 22nd.
I will second that.
Okay. Move
With the note that more to come on the foster parent program here in Center County.
Good.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve today's check run. Any final discussion on the check run? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you, Commissioner. Margaret, anything? Yes, please.
Just a quick update on the Department of Health's COVID-19 testing site. As you are aware, the testing site will be at the Center County Recycling Center through this Thursday. And starting Friday, the testing site is moving to the former Subway building right down here in front of Big Springs. That building is now owned by the Borough of Bellefonte, and they are more than willing to allow AMI and the Department of Health to use the space. We've toured it. It will work as long as our numbers stay down, and we're hoping for that, especially during the summer months. But the idea is that they would be in this space through September, and then I think the Department of Health at that point will probably be reevaluating which way to head at that time. But Thursday's the last day at the recycling center. Just want to thank them again. I think that we've been there a total of about 8 months altogether. And a thank you also to the Borough of Bellefonte for being willing to open this space for the site. So that's it.
Thank you for the update, Margaret. Thank you. Okay, we have one letter of support, and we'll welcome Ray back up to discuss this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. I think in the past we've had plenty of conversations here, previous meetings with regards to our county action plan, and HRG is our coordinator in partnership with the Conservation District, who's an important agency that helps us prioritize projects that come out of the countywide action plan. So this morning we have an attestation letter for the county's partnership with the Chesapeake Conservancy on restoration of the King Farm located at 135 Fox Gap Road in Rebersburg, that is in Miles Township. We contributed as a county $31,507 of in-kind match through the PADEP Countywide Action Plan funds, and this helps protect 12.9 agricultural acres along Elk Creek. So as you talk about protection of streams and the money that's been put forth through the CAP, this is our first inaugural project that's completed, and we'll hopefully provide this letter to Chesapeake Conservancy to attest its improvements.
Thank you very much, Ray. Any questions, comments?
Beautiful country out there, and when you say Elk Creek, reminds me of Elk Creek Cafe. So,
Well, I just want to also note that the Conservation District, DEP, and a lot of other partners in the community, including the Fish and Wildlife Service, have, I mean, this is one project, but there are literally a myriad of stream bank protection programs that have happened, and this is another really good one. So just, we're involved in a whole bunch of different, areas of conservation that a lot of folks don't recognize, and I think that this one is certainly a great one as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ray. We'll look for a motion then.
motion to approve the attestation letter for the partnership with Chesapeake Conservancy on a restoration project on the King Farm in Rebersburg.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion is carried. Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
Ray. All right, we'll see if we have a voter registration report.
We do.
Okay, great.
This morning, we have 105,059 registered voters. That's up 26 from last week. There are 43,976 Democrat registrants, 148 Green Party, 657 Libertarian, 14,120 no affiliation, and 42,335 Republicans. When you add the other 3,823, you get the 105,059 number. I'd like to recognize the American Independent Party this morning. And the American Independents have 2 registered voters in Center County. So the precinct feature this morning is Marion Township, precinct number 61. In the last election, there were a total of 722 registered voters. There were 310 ballots cast, which led to a percentage of voter turnout of 42.94%. And they also, it bears noting that they vote at the Marion Township Municipal Building. So thank you to our community partners there for allowing us to use their facility. But the folks that make it happen, the judge of elections in Precinct 61 is Melissa Edders, the minority inspector is Patty Bowes, and the majority inspector is Sandra Hagan, and the clerk is Ivy Wilmer. And we want to thank you and hope to see you again very, very soon. So there you have it.
Absolutely, thank you. Okay, any executive sessions for us to report to? All right, thank you, Margaret. All right, any questions? Gary, Haley?
Has the county salary study report been received, reviewed? Where do you stand with that?
An initial portion of it was received last week, and we had an informational meeting and an executive session to talk about it, learn a little bit more about it, but there's going to be several ongoing conversations regarding it. We're going to get sort of a part 2 of it in the next coming days, so it still is ongoing. But the fact that we've gotten the data back, gotten some of the initial recommendations, draft recommendations, helps us to then put some numbers behind it to appreciate what it's going to do for this year, future year budgets, what kind of money we can allocate for it. So it is progressing and making a lot of progress on it.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Haley. Okay, all right. We'll look for a motion to adjourn at this time.
Motion to adjourn, 11:02.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.